Hi everyone, I'm Varion Walton. Again, we are in Chattanooga, Tennessee. You know, diversity in the media is a hot topic right now when you think about Hollywood, Black Lives Matter, and the movement during this presidential election season. Well, today I'm joined by a gentleman who has covered several presidential elections, he has covered several conventions, and he has covered our nation's capital. Please welcome Mr. Dan Loki.
Thank you so
Many
much.
of you remember Dan from CNN for many years, but you know what? I remember when you were with NBC.
That's right. Yeah, I was with NBC out of their West Coast Bureau for 7 years, covering everything, floods, fires, hurricanes, any breaking news story, I was on it.
And you got your start here in Chattanooga. A lot of people didn't realize
I
that.
did, yeah, back in the early days of television, as I like to joke. But no, I did come here out of grad school at Channel 12 and worked there for about 1.5 years, doing reporting and a little bit of anchoring, producing, running the assignment desk. It was a wonderful market to work in because there was lots of great news happening here, and there were some real talented people who were brought in at that station, and it helped me get the experience I needed to move on to a bigger market.
And I have to openly admit, I'm one of those people that underestimated Chattanooga in terms of just the vast volume of stories that are generated out of this market. It's a huge responsibility covering this market because of the wide coverage area. You're talking Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, and honestly, parts of the Carolinas.
That's right, and it's not typically a starter market. I mean, it's not some small market where you can come and make a lot of mistakes and get away with it. Everyone can make a certain level of mistakes, and you learn and you grow from it. But this is a very competitive market, and it was so at that time, and it continues to be now. And it was a wonderful place in terms of having access to bigger markets like Atlanta, and some of the stories that we covered ended up being national stories. And so it was a wonderful place to start. If I had to do it over again, I wouldn't change anything.
Wow. What brings you to Chattanooga today?
Well, I've been coming here now for the past 1.5 years at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, and it's a wonderful opportunity, has been a wonderful opportunity to get into the classroom and pass along some of the experiences that I've had, not only in local television, but also on the national level. And in addition, give real-time information on what I'm doing now. I've been involved in what I like to call multimedia, not new media because it's getting old now, but just this approach of providing content through online, through podcasts, through videos. It's no longer just this structured, I just do television. And it is, in many ways, very new ground for me in some of the things that I'm trying, and I at times will fail, and it's wonderful to pass along those experiences of coming up against some big challenges in your career, but still working through them.
Well, it sounds as if you, like me, have learned to have a safety net after the tally light has gone off. And there's what I'd like to call the e-revolution. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that both of us in our chosen fields, we're still influencing what I now call the digital journalists.
Right.
And if you don't embrace the internet and everything that it has to offer, you can find yourself left behind.
You certainly can, and part of the reason for it, even beyond just established journalists moving into the digital age, is the fact that you're competing against the general public now, because I am involved with one company that has an app whereby the general public can go out and find videos and pictures from all around the world, and instantly there's this marketplace. You post it, you sell it, you get your money. And it has a way of, through an algorithm and through human beings as well, in vetting the authenticity of the video. So you're competing with the general public who has a camera or just has a blog and can break news stories. And so it makes it, I think, much more interesting in terms of the kinds of content that you end up seeing all across the World Wide Web.
Absolutely. Last question to you. You were very much known for your coverage of the conventions and the political presidential races. Are you missing it this season at all?
You know, it would be a lie to say that I don't miss it at all. I was up in New Hampshire right before the New Hampshire primaries, working at an event, and it was great to be in the mix just for a tad. But then I looked at everybody else and realized that they hadn't eaten well for a year, that they had not been sleeping well, that it was freezing outside. And I remember the grind. It's very exciting, but you're gone from home for extended periods of time. And it's wonderful to dip in and dip out and watch a little bit of the drama from afar, but not have to do it every day.
Well, I agree with you. The grind every day is a bit much. And the work that you're doing now, Dan, as I wrap this up, is the work that I'm sure you're most proud of, because it gives you an opportunity to have the flexibility and the brass ring, because what really matters is family, work that helps the next generation, and possibly reaching back and helping someone else that's coming up through the ranks.
It's all of the above, and it's wonderful to focus on stories. You know, as a reporter, you are often accused of covering just negative stories. It's great to be able to do stories that are positive, that have some redeeming value to them beyond just the who, what, when, where, why. So that's wonderful. And then with some of the work I'm doing with PBS, I get to pick stories that I've always wanted to tell. Wanted to go to Cuba. I pitched a story. We went to Cuba. We're able to cover religion in Cuba and what has been happening there over the last decade. So I truly am my own assignment editor and going on only the things that I want to cover and having a good time.
Kudos to you. We'll wrap that up by simply calling it quality versus quantity coverage.
That's right.
Dan Lothian, thank you so much for joining
A
us.
pleasure to be here.
And guys, again, keep it here. Spread the word. Tell a friend. Vision, voice, Varion, always on, always connected.